Here I'm is, here I'm is. You know what to do. It's Tuesday, so that means you're going to break on through. With me, your host, Jeffrey K. Clayton, the long haired weirdo, the unimpeachable president for life. Oh, man. Okay. Boy, a lot of y'all came in right here at the start. Let's see, there's Adam Wolf, a.k.a. Dina Soggs, a.k.a. Katie After Dark, Chris Martin, Brandon Yeti, Todd, Callie, Clinton, Dave Benoit, all right. Well, we're kind of back on format now. I know a lot of you probably thinking, well, damn, since 40-year anniversary's over, I guess the death train's going to be pulling into the shed until they decide to take it on another trip. But no, you're wrong. You're wrong. The death train did not pull into the garage. It just pulled into the holding station where a lot of work is being done on it. A lot of work is being done in it. A lot of work is being done to it. And man, I got announcements like crazy, but I can't announce right now until I get some verification. But you're going to be very pleased with some of this good stuff. I will say this, man, we got at the anniversary show, we played a song off of one of our new records. You might be going, you didn't play no new songs. We did play a cover, though. A cover that we have never played before. And it's going to be on one of our new records. And you want to know about, okay, well, you're talking about new records, you need to tell me something I'm going to tell you right now. The first one, the 7-inch, the tribute to George South. My good friend, the bootleg preacher himself, George South. Which features him on the record with us. So you know that's going to be exciting. Because George just kind of makes excitement happen. Erica, you are correct. The Pistols cover. Callie knows. Adam Wolf, New York, is going to be on our other new record, the one besides the tribute to George South. The new record is going to be called the ANTiSEEN Time Machine, and it is like a radio broadcast on a FM Gold radio station, and you guys are going to love it. Lots of people involved. Songs. I'll put it this way. New York by the Sex Pistols is the only cover on there that you guys would say, well, yeah, I can see them doing that. The others, you'd be like, I just don't see it. But it's going to be good. I'm really proud of what we got so far, and Sir Barry is constantly working on the getting everything put down so that we can take it to Jimmy Tutterow to mix. Tutterow's the one that worked on. He started working with us on the. Are You Sure Hank Done It This Way single, and then Great Disasters. Yeah, we may have done some more stuff with him by now. I don't know, man. I can't keep up with him. But I kind of lost my train of thought. But yeah, I'm kind of back on format. I don't have a top 10 for today. I've been so busy, man, working class. But as you know, as you may know, if you've looked at my personal Facebook page over the last 5 or 6 days, you know that me and the First Lady took a nice vacation down to Myrtle Beach. Just the two of us. Just the two of us. And we had a great time, relaxing. Matter of fact, the First Lady looked at me one time and I was just kind of bewildered. I was like, I was just kind of like, I don't really know what to do. She goes, you know why? Because you're relaxed. You never relax, and that's why you don't know what to do with yourself. So just enjoy it. Joseph Cruz was thinking top 10 serial killers. That's a question. That's an easy top 10 to answer right now. 0. I do not have any respect or give a moment's thought to those pieces of human garbage. And yeah, okay, I'll give you this. I'm interested in some of their stories. Yeah, I'll watch the documentaries and I'll watch that. But top 10 favorite? Kill them all. Let God sort them out. Speaking of break on through brews, if everyone would please lift yours up, I'd like to drink a memorial toast to a good pal of the ANTiSEEN firm over in Holland who has passed away. We called him Tony Love Slug, but he's known as Tony Slug, Tony Nitwit. He played in BGK, Love Slug, but he passed away day before yesterday, again. And, to you, Tony Love Slug, yeah, we call him Tony Love Slug because, man, it's like when you're in old JC's camp and you get given a nickname, it sticks pretty much. We would call everybody the name of their band, pretty much. Like all the guys in Limecell. When we used to play with and hang out with the guys in Limecell quite a bit, it would be Kevin Limecell, Steve Limecell, Benny Limecell. You know, that way we knew who the hell we were talking about. I guess we do that with a lot of other bands too. But but while the First Lady and I were riding around Myrtle Beach town, Murrells Inlet, Garden City, I got onto the story. Well, I guess we were discussing the anniversary show and the significance. Oh, I'm sorry, folks, man. I am wore the hell out. I mean, I guess you can look at my face and go, damn, somebody didn't get no rest and relaxation. Man, we had one day to kind of get back to normal, and then it was back, you know, the old saying, frying pan into the fire. Man, work is brutal right now because we're doing inventory. Bobby G, now this is the second BOT since the 40th anniversary show. Yeah, it is unending. But anyway, we were talking about the significance of having kept it together for 40 years. I mean, we never officially broke up. We did take some time off from time to time. And there was about a year hiatus. There's probably 2 times in the 40 years that there was about a year's hiatus. I'd have to stop and think about that real hard. But I started talking to the First Lady about how Joe Young and I met. And she said, you know, that's a real... And I guess some of these details I've never told her. And I was talking to Malcolm Tent today, and I told him, I said, yeah, I was talking to Rebecca about how I met Joe, and I said, have I ever told that story before? And I said, because when I was telling it to my wife, I was able to dig deep and find or remember new details, different details. So I'm going to go ahead and tell that story if you don't mind. And I may go blank on you a minute trying to remember what year these things were, but I can tell you this. I moved to Charlotte in the fall of 1982. And it was in the end of summer, August 1983, when ANTiSEEN had its first practices. But and on October 1st, 1983, we did our first show. But it just seems like a lot of stuff went on in shorter periods of time than it does now. I don't know. Maybe we just plan things better now. We have to plan way far in advance, I guess. But because I'm thinking it was 1981 or early 82. The Professionals played the Milestone. Now, a lot of y'all might go, well, what was the Professionals? Some local band? No. The Professionals were the band that Paul Cook and Steve Jones from the Sex Pistols had after the Sex Pistols. And they played the Milestone. Well, a lot of people don't know that. Half of the original Sex Pistols played the Milestone. Now, people insist the Dead Kennedys played, they insist Motorhead played. Neither one of those bands played the Milestone. They never played there. Nirvana played there. The Go-Go's played there. 999 played there. But the half of the Sex Pistols played there, and it was 81 or 82, early 82. I guess I could Google and see when they're... Hey, you know what? I've got the use of a monitor here. I'm going to look that up. I'm going to see what year those guys would have toured. Band. 1980s tour. All right, let's see if anything comes up. The Professionals band. Something tells me that's not them. Okay, here it is, right here. Here's a Wikipedia. Okay, let's see what it says here. They were active from 1979 to 1982. They featured Paul Cook, Tom Spencer, Chris McCormick. And there's a Toshi J.C. Ogawa, but he was not in the band when... I guess that's who's in there now. Okay. Past member. Steve Jones, Andy Allen, Ray McVeigh, and Paul Cook. All right. So let's see if it tells when they toured the United States. Seems they got back together in 2015. All right. In the spring of 82. In the spring of 82 is when they played America and they played the Milestone. All right. So, anyway, Right, James. Steve Jones is not in the new lineup of the professional, just Paul Cook. Steve Jones still does have Jonesy's Jukebox, I think, Joseph. But anyway, it was a great show. They played the Sex Pistols songs they played. They played Silly Thing, Lonely Boy, Pretty Vacant. I think they played Here We Go Again. I'm not sure. But I remember they played a few songs I knew. But anyway, after the show, now the Milestone, if you go there now, it does not look anything like the building and the structure used to look back in 1982. It was the little concrete block building there in front that joined the house. That's still there. But then there was another building on the other side of the house and with a gate that kind of held it together. And you had to go around on the sidewalk, go to the front, and there was like a mattress or some chairs, and I guess it was a makeshift green room for these guys, and Paul Cook was just sitting in there on a mattress with wiping himself off with a towel, and me and a few other people were lined up getting stuff signed by him. All I had for him to sign was a fanzine that I got from Greensboro called No Greensboro. It had HR on the front. The reason I had it is because they had one of my cartoons in it called No Prep Punks. So I had that, and I was like, well, I'm going to get Paul Cook and Steve Jones to sign this damn fanzine. And I may still have it somewhere. But, so I go in, Paul's not really talking to anybody, really. He's just kind of signing and, and then the next person gets, we were kind of keeping it moving. But there's a guy in line behind me, and we get to talking, and I find out it's Joe Young. And he tells me, so where are you from? Blah, blah, blah. And he tells me he's from Lenore, North Carolina, up in the mountains past Hickory. And I tell him, well, I'm from New London. It's a suburb of a very small town called Albemarle. Not even a suburb, it's just a thing out of the sun. I told him, and we got talking, I said, well, man, I'm planning on moving to Charlotte, sometime in the fall. And he goes, yeah, man. He goes, I'll be moving here soon, too. But, we didn't have cell phones then. You couldn't give each other information. Oh, he just left it. Well, okay, well, I'll see you. See you at some point, all right? So, so I moved here in 82. Oh, no, I didn't move yet. This is still the early part of 82, the spring. And I go to Charlotte one night, me and a couple of the guys from Albemarle, New London, and we saw this New York band called the Stimulators. Now, at the time, that didn't mean nothing. And we just go see anybody. And you say, oh, well, there was only 15 or 20 or 30 people there. That's not how we judged how good a show was, man. We could have 10 or 15 people there, and it would be a great show. I mean, because any of you that play in bands, would you rather play to 100 people that are indifferent, or to 20 people that are just going nuts? Yeah, 20 people that are really into it. Man, that's the way the shows were back then. Like, I used to remember we went to go see this D.C. band called Last Sacrifice. I think they were from D.C. May have been from Milwaukee. I don't know. But they were called Last Sacrifice from the 80s. I'm going to look them over here in a little bit. I mean, there must have been, like, I don't know, 10 people. But, man, we had a damn good time. And the band did, too. The band was having a ball. I mean, you got 10 people going nuts, That's just how it used to be. We just go see anyone that came, and we would show out. for them. You know, we always, you know, I guess unless they were just really, really bad. But these groups were good. It was all kinds of different music too. It was never the groups had yet to start being generic, if that makes any sense. But anyway, we go see the Stimulators. Now the Stimulators are the band that had Harley Flanagan in it when he was a kid. He was the drummer. But he wasn't with them at this point. All I knew about them was that they had that cassette tape on Roar called Loud Fast Rules. And they had a single called Cradle Robber. And, well, we get there. And man, like, there's hardly anybody there. 15, maybe 20 people. But it was one of those nights, man. We just had a ball, you know. Met the band. The band was cool. That's where I met for the first time and the last time, actually. Denise Mercedes, that was a guitar player. And so I look around at the bar, and it's that guy from Lenore, Joe Young. I walk up, hey man, you remember me? Yeah, hey, how's it going? Hey, I live in Charlotte now. Oh yeah, I do too, man. I live, you know, over there off South Boulevard. I live over there off Central. And so this time we had pencils and paper. Hey, this is my phone number, this is my address. You know, and I said, hey man, I'm thinking about starting a band. You know, here in town. And I did. And I know a lot of you won't believe this. I don't care if you believe it or not, but it's true. One of the first bands I started was a band called Worthless Creed. And it was with a friend of mine, still a friend of mine to this day, a guy by the name of David Vincent. Any of y'all know that? But we didn't do much. We had a few original songs, but you know, David had his vision of what he wanted to do, and I kind of had mine, and you know, but we were still friends. We just so Mark, you got to talk to David about Worthless Creed. What did he say? Oh yeah, I don't want to talk about that. But anyway. But I said to Joe, man, I'm planning on starting a band. Worthless Creed didn't quite work out, and so it evolved into another type of hardcore band called Fight for Life, which didn't last very long. We did make a demo, and I have no idea where that stuff is. Well, that's great, Mark. So he was stoked, huh? That's cool. There was a time when neither one of us wanted to talk about that band. But anyway, so I'm going to start a band. Oh, okay. Well, man, I know how to play guitar. Oh, you do? Oh, cool. Hey, well, why don't you come to my house one day and bring your stuff, and we'll write some songs together. All right. Well, Joe didn't know how to play guitar. Joe didn't even have a guitar. So he goes back home to Lenore, and he talks to his brother, Barbecue Young, the late, great Barbecue Young, and says, hey, man, I met this dude in Charlotte. I think we're going to start a band, but, man, I need you to give me a crash course on some guitar, you know, Ramones type playing. So I guess when we talked, yeah, man, you know, kind of like the Ramones, you know, that kind of stuff. I didn't want to do the Brandon, I'm going to bring that up, your question right there. I'm going to bring that up. But, so Joe gives him, or Barbecue gives Joe the crash chord. Power chord, man. Just move that up and down, all around. Bam, 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 bam. You can write 1,000 songs. And we did. You can write 1,000 songs with that chord, man. Just move it all over the neck. That's all you got to do. And, So Joe went and bought I can't remember if his first one was a Melody or not Melody Maker, just a Melody or an Encore. Man, I wanted to think it was an Encore. But we had that, he had that book about Iggy Pop called I Need More. And in that it had the big full frontal nudity photo of Iggy. And Joe ripped that out of the book and put glue on it and pasted that on the back of his guitar. Why? I do not know. But so he comes over to the house and he had bought a little crate amp. What is that? Crate. C-R-A-T-E, like they have now. But these were built like little wooden crates. About this big. But man, it sounded so good. It was so distorted. You could turn the gain. And this is before he had pedals. I guess maybe he had a tuner. Joe always had a tuner. Joe loved tuners, man. You know, he couldn't do it by ear. He always had to have that tuner. So he... So we're playing, and man, one of the first songs we played was I Don't Care by the Ramones, because my bands that I had in New London and Albemarle, we were playing some Ramones covers, and that was the first song I ever learned on guitar. Hey man, let's play this, you know. And he's just playing, going right along. I like his style, man. It's like, it's caveman. And I'm like, man, that's good. I like that. I didn't know that was the extent of it. I was just like, man, I like it. I like this guy's style, man. It's like heavy fisted, you know, and that would change. But I'm going to go back to Brandon's question. Let me go back up here and see if I can do it without. Brandon says, when and how did Joe get the idea of ANTiSEEN, or was it immediately understood? Well, Brandon, see, that's something we came up with together. And when we were first getting the band, I would say for the first 10 years, we would go to each other's houses or homes, and we would have long, deep, into the wee hours of the morning discussions about what we wanted to achieve and what we wanted to, how we wanted to present ourselves, how we wanted to be seen. And yeah, man, you know, a lot of people that really study the ANTiSEEN sound and how we evolved through the records, they'll tell you that we started in '83. Our first record didn't come out till '85. But the ANTiSEEN that everyone knows today really started around 1988 with Blood of Freaks. We were still kind of throwing it all in the pot to see how it tasted, you know, up until then. Like I've said it on here 100,000 million or 6 or 7 times, that some of our early shows were like a flea market Alice Cooper show. Hey man, we're going to be like outrageous, man. We're going to have punk rockers' heads on stage, you know. We're going to do all kind of weird shit. The first show, there was bloodshed, you know, so we're like, oh, okay, we're going to keep that in the act. And every time we'd hear something that somebody else was doing outrageous, we're just like, damn. Well, we gotta figure out a way to incorporate that somehow, you know, to make our own thing with that. One of the things that really inspired Joe and I, we went to see The Kids Are All Right at the Eastland Mall cinemas at the midnight movies. They used to have midnight movies on Friday and Saturday nights. And this particular weekend, they were playing The Kids Are All Right. And I don't know how many of you have seen it. I personally think it's one of the best Who documentaries out there. And I know there's a bunch. There's a shit ton, and there's a bunch with, you know, a lot more modern editing and pretties and frills and stuff. But to me, this is the best one. If I had to tell anybody, okay, I don't know nothing about the Who, what do you want me to look at? I would say the Kids are all right. Look at that. Man, if you don't like that, you don't like them. You don't like the Who. That's all there is to that. But there's a montage at the end where it's just the smoke bombs, throwing the guitars into the amps, smashing the guitars, drum kit blowing up, drum kit with smoke bombs all over it, rolling all over the place, microphones swinging, cymbal stands flying in the air. It's just a quick clip, you know, and it plays the audio of that from one source, showing all these film clips. It's amazing. And I just remember driving home that night. We might have went and got something to eat or something. We were just like, man, the end of that, that's what our band's gonna be like. Yeah. It was rough. It was rough enough trying to get two other guys to join us that would share our vision. But we did for a little bit until 1985 or 86. We went through members quickly, man. A lot of people did not get, oh man, let's just be, hey, you know, let's have mohawks. Let's spike our hair, man. We're like, nah, man. It's like, that's England. We ain't England. We're small town, southern United States. And that's one thing we decided on, that instead of being ashamed of that fact, instead of hiding that fact, we're going to play up that fact. We're going to be proud of that, because we were proud. I mean, we really didn't know anything else. How were we supposed to be? You know, we're just like, hey, this is us. This is what we do. So that's how we're going to do it. And even when we were into the flea market Alice Cooper thing, I was wearing they called it Turkey Shooter Pilgrim hat, which was featured at the 40-year anniversary show. The very one from the beginning of ANTiSEEN, on the cover of Drastic, on the cover of Honor Among Thieves, the original version. It's the same hat. But anyway, so we thought, you know, well, man, there's this group Wasp, and they're like considered outrageous stuff. Man, we got to do stuff like that. That's when we started having the chicken livers shoved inside the mannequins, or the pig's feet on a sword, and all this kind of. We did all kind of nut job. But it always had like a southern thing to it. It wasn't like, oh yeah, we're digging up graves and blah, blah, blah. We're just like, nah, man, we got some chicken livers and some pig's feet. We're gonna throw them at y'all, and we did. But I would say, Joe and I were really, really in sync with what we wanted to do. Man, I would say for the first 20 years. The second act, 20 to 30, not so much. We were kind of distant from each other, and I don't know, certain members of the band that came and went kind of helped cement that. And that's neither here nor there at this point. But when Joe was the one that made us take a a year's hiatus. He came up to me probably sometime in, I don't know, 86. Hey, Clayton, man, I got to talk to you about something. Man, I'm moving with my girlfriend down to Atlanta. And back then, man, I mean, if you moved to Statesville, that could have been the end of the band. And it was like, much less Atlanta. All right, so... All right, and I just remember him writing me a letter. He left it on the table. We were sharing an apartment at the time. And he, just right to say, hey, man, I've had a blast being an ANTiSEEN, and I appreciate you taking me along on the trip, man. And it's like, I don't know if you're going to keep it going or whatever you want to do. I know you're. I wish I kept it. I usually keep everything. It may be up in the attic in a box full of stuff. But no, Clinton, Bury the Needle era came after Joe left. I'll get on to that in a minute. But there's one thing I failed to mention. That after a few sessions of kind of coming over to the house, writing some songs, and then we got Mitch Cooper playing drums with us, and we had Don Motes playing second guitar. Man, at first our concept was going to be like the Cramps. We're going to have two guitars. One will be a low-end guitar, one will be a high-end guitar. It's like we love the Cramps, and we're like, hey, well, if they can do it, we can do it too. So, but that changed quickly. Don Motes got stationed somewhere overseas, and he couldn't tell us where he was going, when he was going, when he was coming back, and he just disappeared. So we're just like, well, damn, we don't know where he is. And that's when Mitch brought in Bill Cates. But he also brought in Paul Jensen, a second guitar player who was had a lot more finesse on the guitar than what either Joe or I had envisioned for our band. We didn't care if bass player and drummer were good. We just say, look, man, y'all just, this tempo, you can do whatever you want. You want to put a fill in there, put a fill in there. We don't care. But that beat's got to go bam, 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 bam. And you would be amazed how difficult that is for some drummers. But they were having a practice one day, and before I had come into town, and I arrived late, and I stopped at my apartment to dump all my stuff, my laundry from being at my mom's, all that shit. You don't know how it is. And my phone rang. I was like, hey, it's Joe. Man, you got to get over here quick, man. Why? What's going on? Paul Jensen is having us play Radio Free Europe. And I'm like, what? I said, what about our damn... We got 10 songs. That's what we need to be playing. We got our first headline show in October. Our only show. Our first show was a headline show at a punk festival, Punk in the Hills. But I was like, okay, I'll be over there in a minute. And I came over there. All I had with me was a set list, our set list. And I walked in. They were practicing at Bill Cates. Bill Cates, and he was living with his parents at the time. They were practicing there. And I came walking in, man, and I just walked in the middle of them, and I laid the set list down in the middle of the floor, and I said, these are the songs we're doing. We ain't doing the REM. None of that. Well, then, Paul pretty much put his guitar in the case, closed it up, and left. So that left me, Mitch, Bill, and Joe, which was fine with me. And the next time we got together, it was us four. And it was us four that played the show in Boone. Mitch lasted 2 shows. We played again in November I guess. We played the small front, the bar area. We played the bar area of the Milestone. And that was Mitch's last show. After that, we got Brad Keeter. But, and that lineup, you know, well, that's the lineup that did Drastic. That's the lineup that did Honor Among Thieves. Well, we added Dale Duncan and Ace Davis, but for Honor Among Thieves. But, you know, the nucleus. That's when we started to record. So the stuff that was before that, I mean, no one knew them. Well, we only played 2 shows. And we don't have any record of those shows except for photos. That's all we have. And there's some photos of those 2 shows in the Destructive Maximus book. But we consider ANTiSEEN to have started ANTiSEEN proper with that core lineup of Keeter, Cates, Clayton, and Young. Now, if you don't see it that way, well, that's between you and the Lord. It ain't got nothing to do with me. All right, Brandon, are you asking what those 10 songs were? Okay. I'm going to try to remember. I seriously doubt I can remember them all. But I can tell you what happened to some of them. One of them was She's Part of the Scene. Now, you all know that showed up on our first record. We'd not had Queen City Stomp yet. That came later. But let me see if I can remember. There was a song called The Idiot. Dun 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 dun, which ended up on the GG ANTiSEEN record. There was also the song ANTiSEEN, which also ended up on the GG ANTiSEEN record. See, man, we took a lot of them old songs that me and Joe were playing before any of these guys that were in the band at the time had ever played, and we used those, a lot of them, for the GG ANTiSEEN record because we wanted original songs. But we said, man, let's just forget all the words, forget the names. This is what we'll do. And there was one called My Mistake. There was one called Bermuda, not to be confused with the Rocky Erickson Bermuda, but it was us making fun of the Raleigh scene and all those people wearing their like loafers and Bermuda shorts. You know, I don't know. Maybe they liked them. Maybe they were just being like, yeah. We didn't like it. But let's see, what else? How many is that? 4, 5? I doubt there were very many. Oh, Rumors. That was off of Drastic. Nothing's Cool may have been happening at that point. I don't know, Brandon. That's about all. Now, I do have an old set list somewhere. I didn't know I was going to go this deep into this. I do have an old set list somewhere that is from the Keeter, Cates, Clayton Young lineup, before Drastic, after Drastic, before Honor Among Thieves. I do have a set list from that time, and hopefully next week I'll see if I can dig that up, and I'll read it to you. I'll show it to you. And it's a real one. It's not one that I copied, or it's the one. You know, I still got it. I'm amazed sometimes at the shit I kept. I'm amazed at some of the stuff I didn't keep. But oh shit, I lost y'all. That's why I'm kind of phasing out here. I think I lost you guys. Yeah, I did. All right, hold on. Let me see if I can get back. Like, oh, okay. There I is. I don't know how much delay is. Man, I can't see nothing now. Oh, nope, that's too much. But I'm sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm wasting y'all's time now. There we go. Where's audio? I gotta cut it off. Where's audio? I gotta cut it off. You hear it doing double? Oh, shit, I can't find it. What the hell? Oh, that's a damn feedback. Hold on, y'all. Trying to get out. No, that won't let me out. Oh, son of a bitch, man. Alright. How's that? There. Took care of it that way. Technology 1. Early man 0. Well, hell, it's like 10 till 9. I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye to all our company. ANTISEEN. 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 Well, that's all I got. I hope y'all enjoyed that little stroll down memory lane. I'm going to see if I can get back in here. To get back in once again. I know y'all are like, well, damn, I tuned in to see some break on through. I didn't tune in to see Clayton struggle with a damn computer. But I think that might be kind of fun. Alright, nothing's happening now at all. That's free. Oh, there's something moving. Bill Miskowitz was here. Alright, fuck it. I can't figure it out. Well, guys, gals, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with old JC for a little while. Don't forget, please contact me. Messenger, text, email, antiseenjc@yahoo.com. Let me know some top 10s you'd like to know. Let me know some more topics you'd like to see. I got this topic from talking about it with the First Lady. She's like, man, there's some great details here that I never knew. I've been with her for over 10 years, and she didn't know these. We've been friends for way longer than that, and she didn't know these. So let me know, and I'll try to get it covered. Meanwhile, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. I hope you have a great weekend. And as always, I appreciate the hell out of you. Thank you very much.